The Connie Jervis Early Career Teaching Award is granted to a member who has made an outstanding contribution to public education and is currently in the first 10 years of teaching. This is a new award in the BCTF and is being presented for the first time. The legacy of Connie Jervis and what has been called the Langley Affair is known by many, but not all, in the BCTF. In 1939 to 1940, Connie Jervis and her leadership of a small group of approximately 40 Langley teachers played an important role in securing labor rights that would require school boards to participate in binding arbitration to settle salary disputes. As a 24-year-old teacher early in her career, Connie Jervis stood up to threats, firings, forced transfers, and public ridicule from her employer, as she insisted on the right for her and her colleagues to be paid their legally arbitrated salaries. Despite fierce opposition, local president Connie Jervis and her colleagues remained united and unwilling to back down. At the time, the Langley School Board had consistently defied the new legislation established in 1937, requiring compulsory arbitration to resolve salary disputes, even when ordered to pay by the courts. Eventually, the provincial government fired the school board and paid the teachers their arbitrated salaries. As a result, compulsory arbitration for teachers was never again challenged in BC. With the leadership of Connie Jervis, the Langley teachers had won an important victory for all their colleagues across the province. In establishing an award in honor of Connie Jervis, the Federation recognizes the historical legacy and leadership of this remarkable young teacher, but also highlights the important contributions of current members in the early stages of their career. Like Connie Jervis, these members are integral to the collective and continued strength of the Federation, and this award recognizes and acknowledges their accomplishments. It is with great pleasure that I present Rick Kumar with the Connie Jervis Early Career Teaching Award. Rick began teaching as an adult educator in the Surrey School District in June of 2017. While some members might take some time before finding their way to their first union meeting, Rick showed up to the Surrey Teachers Association's AGM on his first day. In his first year of teaching, he attended the BCTF AGM as a voice for adult educators, and in his second year, he joined the local executive committee as a local representative for adult educators. Connecting with this group of marginalized teachers would help frame his work in the upcoming years. Quickly, Rick became increasingly involved in union work, and after attending the 2018 BC Federation of Labour Convention, he became interested in the conditions of young workers and was appointed as the BCTF representative to the BC Fed's Young Workers Committee. A short 2 years later, he became the chair of the Young Workers Committee, helping organize and lead young workers in the fight to address inequities facing those under 30 on account of discriminatory beliefs, policies, and legislation. In his ongoing work with the BC Fed, Rick presently sits on the Executive Council, where he has assisted in difficult conversations with other unions regarding Me Too clauses. Taking the fight for young workers' rights to the federal level, Rick was sent on behalf of the BCTF to join the Canadian Labour Congress in Ottawa to lobby for minimum wage legislation and support for a single-payer pharmacare program. Having participated in this CLC initiative with Rick in Ottawa, I can attest to the energy and passion he brought to the lobby efforts on behalf of the BCTF for the benefit of all Canadians. Within the Federation, Rick has also been a strong advocate of early career teachers. When the BCTF began its 2050 project, Rick signed up to become a facilitator to connect new members in discussions of the union and profession. Recognizing the inherent challenges with engaging new members and the relationship between engagement and retention, Rick wanted to be part of the effort to keep teachers within BC and has played a pivotal role in getting early career teachers connected with their local. As a member of the CASJ Economic Justice Action Group, Rick has taken up the cause of poverty and food insecurity and its impact on the learning climate. In looking at this adapting role of teachers, he has reminded us that teachers are more than educators in every connotation of the word. They are a source of stability, encouragement, optimism, and increasingly a source of food and nourishment. In his writings, he instills hope and ultimately pride in what it means to be a teacher. At the Surrey Teachers Association, in his role as local representative, Rick has continued to advocate for teachers in Surrey and across the province. He has been involved in a number of initiatives, including anti-racism and decolonization work through the STA's Member of Color Committee, union activism and pro-labor movement work through the STA's Labor Affairs Committee, and multiple public outreach campaigns, rallies, and Burma shaves through the STA's Political Action and Public Relations Committee. Within his community, Rick also gives his time generously, working with some of the most vulnerable members in our shared society, particularly those struggling with addiction and in need of shelter and housing. His commitment and drive to making a difference in the lives of others is tireless. This is particularly evident in his role as an educator, extending learning beyond the classroom in support of a more just society. A notable example is how he mobilized his grade 9 socials class to set up a school-wide carnival to raise money for flood victims in BC's recent climate crisis. Rick's commitment to the Federation's members is not only marked by an extensive history of activism in a relatively short period of time, but by his ability to bring people together. As offered by one of his colleagues, quote, "I believe Rick's most outstanding contribution to public education is his ability to include and encourage others to participate in union activism. He consistently presents himself as capable and caring and has encouraged early career teachers like myself to participate in the union. He is bigger than himself, and I know that I am not the only person he has influenced to get involved," unquote. I think you will all agree that activists like Rick are critical to the ongoing work and future of the Federation. Like Connie Jervis, who successfully fought for teachers' rights 80 years ago, Rick's commitment and effort has enabled him to do much in a short period of time. In recognition of his outstanding achievements, please join me in recognizing Rick Kumar as the 2022 and first recipient of the Connie Jervis Early Career Teaching Award. Congratulations, Rick, and we'll send you this placard in the mail and hope to see you in person soon. Congratulations, Rick.
Thank you, Carole. Wow, that's what an intro! That I gotta record that. Yeah, if it's all right, I'd like to give a very short kind of address.
Go ahead, Rick. Congratulations. Go ahead.
Thank you, Schneider. Wow, that was good afternoon, everyone. I'm honored to be joining you from the traditional and stolen lands of the Kwalin, Métis, and Semiahmoo people. This is not my land, but I've been fortunate to live here and connect with the world around me from this spot. A spot from where I'm never too far from the forests, from the water, from the flatlands, all the things that ground me and keep my purpose true. As you will have heard, my name is Rick Kumar, and of all the roles attached to my name, young worker, labor activist, early career teacher, BC Fed chair, I'm coming to you here as a teacher from Surrey. I'm both humbled and grateful for this award and for the opportunity to be standing in front of you all, albeit digitally. I don't plan on having an exceptionally long speech. I don't need to recite my accolades or tell you the committees I've been on, or that the Young Worker Committee is probably going to be one of the pieces of my legacy. But what I have done and what I continue to do is out there. And here today, much to my astonishment, it's written into BCTF history. It's amazing. It's amazing to be the first at something, but in union work, it's not who did it first, but who continues to do it today, who will continue to do it tomorrow. 10, 15, 20 years from now, I don't need any young worker or early career teacher to remember my name. What I need for them is to carry the torch forward. But it isn't just my name. I won the award, but it's other young workers. It's other early career teachers alongside me that have been doing this work. The work of connecting with new teachers, with reducing burnout, with managing their own needs and still attending meetings and working on campaigns and projects. If there were no Alex Adhikaris and Nicole Jarvises, then there would be no me. Without the Angela Markakises and Mariah Fransmans, I couldn't do what I do. It's the amazing people like Navpreet Ganda in Surrey, who co-chairs our Young Worker Committee. 3 years into teaching, and she's on the forefront of the labor movement. If there were no Navpreets, then the torch I carry bright would die out. I look to my side and I see my amazing partner, Andrea Leeks, another young worker who I met through the union. And just a few years after that Victoria AGM where we met, we're now married. And she continues to support the cause as a young worker and as my sounding board. If there were or never was Connie Jervis, then there would be no Rick Kumar. As many of you know, last summer, 5 days after my wedding, my mom, Salita Narain, at 56, passed away unexpectedly. And at 28 years old, I'll be honest, I felt betrayed. I felt betrayed by the world that my mom had been part of my life for such a short time and that I hadn't had a fair chance of giving her the life she deserved. My mom, an immigrant from Fiji, left her homeland when she was forced to flee from the war in 1987. Here in Canada, she and my dad struggled to make lives better for us than they had. And to that effect, my mother was a woman of inconvenience. She wasn't an inconvenience, but rather she took on the world's inconveniences, and she did it happily. Of my mom's 8 siblings, she was the one who took care of my grandma, the only one. My mom worked 2 jobs and went to night school to try and better her own life. She told me stories that at the senior home she worked at, she was often the last person a lot of people would see before they passed on, and she would hold her hand and comfort them. The toll that she carried was enormous. And even on the day of her funeral, the Lower Mainland had not had rain in quite a while during that summer, last summer, and it was contributing to the worsening of fires. My mom, true woman of inconvenience, rained on her own funeral so we would have what we needed. And that was my mom. My mom supported my union work every step of the way, and I know she was proud of the things I've done. I know she's proud of this as well. She even flickered the lights earlier today to let me know. I am my mother's son, and what I do for the union. I do this work and the other things not because they're easy, but because they are hard. I will be inconvenienced. I will be talked over. I will have my ideas and projects and points dismissed, but I will not stop. I will put in hours of time and the last little bit of energy that I have after a long day, because that is what I have been raised to be. Not a person of ease, but a person of inconvenience. That is the union worker my mother raised and the activist that the BCTF needs me to be. So with that, I'd like to say thank you. Thank you to the BCTF for this recognition, the executive for all their amazing work, to my union mentors and friends, and to all the amazing people who have logged on this afternoon to join me in this part of my journey. This award isn't for me, it is for us. It is for everyone who's put in that effort and put in that time. Thank you. Thank you.